Okay, welcome everyone back. A good mayid, a very, very auspicious evening to be learning together with all of you on this night where we pray for a Piska Tava, a good kvittel, and it's never too late. We just learned that even a person is a Rosh Gomer. He could just be Maharer Tshuva Belibai, and he already is considered a tzaddik. Now we're not being Maharer Tshuva Belibai, we're doing a mitzvah, but not just any mitzvah, the most important mitzvah in the world. Talmud Torah is Keneged Kulam. There's nothing better than that a Yid could be doing with his life than learning Torah. And this is what we tell the Rabbi Shalom. Rabbi Shalom, please, Zol Zayin a guten Kvittel, that we should have nothing that disturbs us, that we should be able to learn uninterrupted this year with Menuchas HaNefesh, with Gesund. We are holding on the bottom line of Daf Nun Gimel Amud Beis, as the Gemara now tells us, Amar Rav, Chazarnu al kol stadim shel Rav Meir. I did an investigation on all angles of Rav Meir. V'loy matzinu hektish b'shoigeg ein mischalel. I didn't find anywhere where it's his position that hektish that's done unwittingly is not profaned and deconsecrated, while b'mezid mischalel, while if done purposely, it is mischalel. U'mishnah seinu, our Mishnah that says that Rameir holds that by hektish, if our Mishnah that says that if he does it b'shoigeg, if he's mekadesh her b'shoigeg, she's not mekudeshes. That's a special situation. That's talking about where he was mekadesh her because nois kahuna shaloi balu, where it was mekadesh her with the tunic of the Kohen Gadol, the big day kahuna, that wasn't worn out. You see, there's a special halacha by the tunic of the Kohen Gadol that's not worn out. Technically, the Kohen Gadol could wear the big day kahuna only to do the avodah. As soon as he finishes the avodah, he should have to immediately strip. Because if not, he's wearing it and enjoying it for his own benefit. And he would be male. Now, obviously, it's not possible that as soon as the Kohen Gadol finishes the avodah, he should immediately strip. So therefore, we made a halacha that is no me'ila b'shoigeg, at the big day kahuna, because and it's only over there where we say that if it's done b'shoigeg, the kedusha doesn't go off. Let's see it inside. Says the Gemara, really, Rameir holds that if it's done b'shoigeg, if you use it unwittingly, the kedusha would go off. Because he says, I looked on all angles of Rameir and Shas, and I didn't find anywhere where he holds that when you do it b'shoigeg, the kedusha doesn't go off. Or Mishnah Seinu b'kasnas kahuna. Our Mishnah is talking about the tunic of the kahuna shaloi balu, which did not wear out. Hoyel v'nidnu lihanas bam, since they're allowed to benefit from it even after they finish the avodah, even though they're unwittingly being mal in the big day kahuna. Lefi shaloi nidna Torah l'malachei hasharos. So the Gemara says, Tajma, kasnas kuna shebalu, kasnas kuna that is worn out, moilamem, divrei meir. Doesn't that imply even if it wasn't worn out and it's in active duty? My lav afilu loy balu, says, well, loy, balu dafka, only where they're worn out. So there's going to be me'ila if it's misappropriated. Tajma. So now we have another problem. We know that there is yearly shkalim, which is used for the karbanos. We said we bring the shkalim, we're mashmiyan ala shkalim, and in Nisan we take for the shkalim for the new karbanos of the new year. So of course, since that's used for the karbanos, there's going to be mila. They also was tiklin atikin. That means if you didn't give last year, you could give old shkalim. That's not used for the karbanos. So the Gemara says, Tajma kosnes, Tajma moyalin becharatin, there's mila with the new shkalim, ve'ein moyalin ba'atikin. There's no mila with the old ones. Reb Meir says, moyalin af ba'atikin, you're moyal even with the old ones. Why? Because that money is used to do the city walls and the other needs of the city. You're moyal with the old shkalim and also the remnants after they took the three times. Whatever is left over is the shari alishka, which was used to do community needs, like the walls of Yerushalayim. Now, but wait a second. The walls of Yerushalayim, they're also, since Leinitna Torah L'Malachei Hasharis, they said you're not moyal if you lean on the walls of Yerushalayim, etc. V'amai neima hoyel v'nitnu lahanos, since they're given to benefit. Lefi shaloi nitna Torah L'Malachei Hasharis, the Torah wasn't given to celestial angels, and you're not going to be able to avoid leaning on the wall, etc. The walls of the city of Migdal and its towers, Mishyari Alishkasu, did not Migdal the walls of the city, the towers, Mikol Tzarchei and all the needs of the city, Ban Malishkas Mishyari Alishka. But if Rameir says there's not going to be Mila, because since Leinitna Torah L'Malachei Hasharis, so the Kiddushin doesn't go off, because otherwise you're going to be over. So then why does Rameir say that there's Mila by the Shar Alishka? Says Gemara, you're right. Loitema Rameir, don't say that this is the opinion of Rameir. Ela Rabbi Yehuda, it's the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. Tajma, the Tanya Rabbi Yishmael bar Rabbi Yitzchak, Avnei Yerushalayim shenoshru, the stones of Yerushalayim that fell off the wall, Moyala Mahem. If you use them, you commit Mila. If you take them home and you put it, in your break front, or you build it in your wall, you're going to commit Mila, Divrei HaMeir. So, but why? Again, he should say there's no Mila b'shageg because Leinitna Torah L'Malachei Hasharis. Again, says the Gemara, Loiteimer HaMeir, El Eimer Rabbi Yehuda. Says the Gemara, but wait a second, if it's going according to Rabbi Yehuda, does Rabbi Yehuda hold that the walls of Yerushalayim have hektish, have a kedusha? I Rabbi Yehuda Yerushalayim mi mikdasha? Do the walls of Yerushalayim have any kedusha? V'tanan, this is a Mishnah Mesechus Nedarim. We know that one of the ways to make a neder is if Ruvain says Kikir zeh alai, he wants to go on a gluten-free diet, so he says Bagel zeh alai kekarban. This bagel should be forbidden to me like a carbon. So then that's called hatfasa, and it's aser because he compares it to a davar hanodav v'anodav. You could create an iser by comparing it to something else which is created by a oral declaration. So we learned in the Mishnah of Tanan Ke'imra, if Ruvain says that this bagel should be like a sheep offering, Kedirim, like the karbanis that are in the shed waiting to be offered, those that are in, so to speak, the bullpen. Ke'etzim, like the wood offerings, which are also declared kodesh by an oral declaration. Ke'ishim, like the fire offerings, the karbanas. Ke'heichel, like the kodesh. Ke'mizbech, like the altar. Ke'Yerushalayim, all of these are dedicated. Rabbi Yehuda Aimer, Kol Aimer Yerushalayim Le'ama Klum. So you see, Rabbi Yehuda holds Yerushalayim doesn't have Kedusha. Says Gemara, well, maybe Rabbi Yehuda means if you say Yerushalayim and you don't say Ki Yerushalayim. If you don't say the Chaf Adimyan, he just says Begel Zeh Yerushalayim, that's nothing. It's not because Yerushalayim doesn't have Kedusha, it's because he doesn't say the Chaf Adimyan. But Rabbi Yehuda says that not that way. Vatanya, Rabbi Yehuda Aimer, Kol Aimer Ki Yerushalayim, Lo Yama Klum. Unless he says that he's comparing the bagel to something that's offered to Yerushalayim. So you see that Rabbi Yehuda holds Yerushalayim doesn't have Kedusha. So how could you say that the previous din is going according to Rabbi Yehuda? Says Gemara, you're right. There's a machlokes what Rabbi Yehuda's opinion is. There's two opinions of what Rabbi Yehuda holds. One opinion is Rabbi Yehuda holds Yerushalayim has Kedusha. One holds that he doesn't. Starting now, the top line of Nun Daled Amud Beis, making very good headway, 48 minutes, a blot and a half, using Siyata D'Shmaya on this very important night. By the way, I should remind you that if you did not do Tashlich yet, you should make sure to do it tomorrow. You want to do Tashlich before the end of Hoshana Rabbah. If you didn't do Ataris Nedarim, you want to do it before the end of Hoshana Rabbah. If you didn't Shlug Kaparis, you want to do it before Hoshana Rabbah. If you didn't like the Menorah, sorry, you're out of luck. Look at Marshall.
I just let me know. By the way, I'm making gluten-free cookies right now, so who's making that netter?
Okay. Also, if you bench tonight or tomorrow, you could certainly insert, besides Haracham on the Yakum Lanu Sukkos David Noifeles, which is great to do on the Yeshpizin of David HaMelech, but it's also, you could add to your benching Haracham Chadash Aleinu Es Hashana Hazais L'Taiva V'Livracha, because it is a time of the Gemara Din. We look around the daf, and we've had some hard knocks this year. I mean, Aaron had a very hard year this year. Aaron Swade, and Irving just had a hard time, and Mo had a very, very hard year this year, and Nachman had a hard time. There were a lot of people that had a hard time this year, and we lost some people from our shir this year. We lost, Moshe Zucker was this year, and we lost Reb Schwartzman this year. We lost some of our, Zoomers. So we lost also Marshall's brother, who was a Chaver Adaf. So we should all have in mind that we should all be healthy and well, and bring in new people, because it would make Marshall very happy. There was some talk on the chat about how important is bourbon. The bourbon is very important for Marshall. It's a very big chesed. It really is. To have a happy Marshall, like they say, happy wife is a happy life. Happy Marshall is a good daf, so. Anyway, okay.
You should have a bottle of bourbon hanging in the sukkah. It didn't last that long, sorry.
Anything that you like is an inyan to hang from the sukkah. The Gemara brings down that they used to hang garlands of wheat and grapes and pomegranates. So most people think that the reason is because it's Chag HaOsef. It's the celebration of bringing in the yield from the field. But I believe that the reason is because since the schach represents the Anani HaKavod, from the Anani HaKavod came the mun. And therefore, what the mun tasted like whatever we wanted. So whatever you really like, there would be nothing wrong, and I really mean it, there would be nothing wrong with Marshall hanging from the schach hot dogs. Because he wants the mun.
I knew that was coming.
He wants the mun to taste like a hot dog. So yeah, I also said, and veterans of these shiurim heard it from me many times. Elliot, to get on the Zoom, you got to just go to zoomdaf.com. Zoomdaf.com. That's the way to get on the Zoom.
Rabbi, isn't it muksa when it hangs on Yom Tov?
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about eating it. I'm just talking about leaving it there.
Oh.
And I'm talking about plastic ones, not eating it. But I said if I had my way, and people wouldn't laugh me and write about me that I'm a little bit of a loony, I would hang Marshall. No, I would hang makeup, Maybelline and Revlon, because it says that women's cosmetics came down with the mun. It's a very big lesson that Shalom Bayis was so important that it came down with the mun. Which really very interesting. That it's really very fascinating. It says that when we came out of Mitzrayim, the Chamushim Alu B'nai Yisrael Me'eretz Mitzrayim, we came out armed. Now, why did we come out armed? Because we would fight Sichon and Oig, and we didn't need it for the Yamsuf. It says Hashem Yelochem Lochem Atem Takarisha, but we would use it 39 years later when we fought with Sichon and Oig. So why do we have to schlep it for almost 4 decades? Let it come down from Shemayim when we needed it. Teretz is, weapons of violence will never come from heaven. Oisa shalom b'mroimav. Cosmetics, that's shalom bayis. That will come down, but never weapons. Now, look, even Marshall came down from heaven.
I have Shem Zayas hanging from this sky.
That's good. That you learned from me, and then you use that oil for the menorah.
You sure I came down? Not
Exactly for the menorah.
That's good. Okay.
I do the same. I have the oil hanging for and then use it for Hanukkah.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Amar Ula Mishmei de Bar Pada. Ula said in the name of Bar Pada, Omer Hoyer Meir, Hektish b'mezid mischalel. Hektish, if it was given to her, if you know about it, it's profane. B'shoigeg ein mischalel. V'loy amru b'shoigeg mischalel, and it only says that if you do it b'shoigeg, that it's profane, el inyan carbon bilvad. Only if you misappropriate a carbon, then it's profane. So the Gemara says, why should a carbon be different? Excuse me. Indian carbon bilvad. The only thing is if you misappropriate b'shaygeg, the kedusha doesn't go off, but you're chayiv to bring an oshim. That's what the Gemara thinks it. So the Gemara says that doesn't make sense. If the kedusha doesn't go off, why should you be chayiv a carbon oshim? If the kedusha doesn't go off, carbon mamay mechayiv. Why should you be chayiv? Elaki also Ravin Parish Mishmei de Bar Pada. He explained in the name of Bar Pada, Oimer Hoyer Meir Hektish b'mezid mischal. Only if done willfully, the kedusha goes off. B'shoigeg ein mischal. The only time it'll be mischal b'shoigeg is if you eat it. If you eat it, then you have to bring a carbon. So even if it's inadvertent, but if you eat it and it's gone, that's me'ila, and you have to bring a carbon even b'shaygeg. Now what's the halacha? Amar Rav Nachman, Amar Ravada Barava, halacha k'Rameir b'maiser. The halacha is like Rameir by maiser, that you can't be mekadosh and isha with maiser because it's mammon gevaya. Hoyel v'stamlon tona kavase. Since we have an anonymous Mishnah like him, an anonymous Mishnah means that Rabbi Yehuda Nasi is saying that that's the halacha. V'halacha k'Rabbi Yehuda behektish, and the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda behektish, that the kedusha goes off b'shoigeg, but not b'mezid. Hoyel v'stamlon tona kavase. So now we're going to investigate both of these anonymous Mishnahs. Says the Gemara, K'Rameir b'maiser mahi. What does it mean that we find a Stam Mishnah like Rameir, that if you try to be Mekadosh and Isha with Maiser, she's not Mekadeshes because it's Mam and Gevaya. Ditnan, Kerem Revai. Kerem Revai is the 4th year of the vineyard. The first 3 years are Ayla, Arla, forbidden. The 4th year has a din like Maiser Sheni that you have to bring it up to Yerushalayim. So Beis Shammai says, Ein loy chaimish. If you want to redeem it, you don't have to add a 5th because it doesn't have a din like Maiser. The Ein loy beer, and it doesn't have to be disposed of in the 4th and the 7th year like other Maisers. Beis Hillel says Yeshloi, that you have to add a 5th if you redeem it, and it has to be disposed of. Beis Shammai Yeshloi peret v'yeshloi oileilos. It has a din of peret that you have to give the single grapes that fall off to the aniyim, and if it's a weak cluster, you have to give it, even though it's kerem revai. Beis Hillel says no, kerem revai, there's no din matnas aniyim, and kulay legas. It all goes to the vineyard. So my time at the Beis Hillel, what's the reason of Beis Hillel? Says the Gemara, why does Beis Hillel hold that you have to separate a 5th and it has to be disposed of in the 4th and the 7th year if you didn't give it, if you didn't treat it right and bring it up to Yerushalayim? Says the Gemara, Gomrei Kodesh Kodesh Memaiser. He learns out Kodesh Kodesh Memaiser. Ma Maiser Yesh Loi Chaimish Yesh Loi Beer. Just like Maiser, if you redeem your own Maiser, you have to add a 5th, and you have to dispose it if you didn't take care of it in the 4th and the 7th year. Av Kerem Revai Yesh Loi Chaimish Yesh Loi Beer. O Beis Shammai Loi Gomrei Kodesh Kodesh Memaiser. Says the Gemara, O Beis Hillel Imrim Kemaiser Keman Svirlo. Who does he hold like? Ika Rabbi Yehuda. If he holds like Rabbi Yehuda that it's like your money, if it's like your money, then why am I kula legas? Why should all go to the press? Why should it all go to the press? If it's like your money, you should have to give matnas aniyim. And if it's mom and hedyot, then you should have to give. It's considered karmacha, and you should have to give the matnas aniyim. You should have to give the oilos and the parrot. Elalav k'Rameir. It must be like Rameir that holds it's not considered karmacha, but rather it's mum and gevaya, and that's why it's pater for matnas aniyim. So here we have a clear Stam Mishnah that Beis Hillel, who we always passing like Beis Shammai b'makom Beis Hillel lesa, that Beis Hillel holds that Meiser is mum and gevaya. Now it's considered a Stam Mishnah, even though it says Beis Shammai, because Beis Shammai b'makom Beis Hillel lesa. We don't even pay attention to Beis Shammai in the presence of Beis Hillel. Rabbi Yehuda behektish mahi. Where do we find, like Rabbi Yehuda by hektish, that hektish is the kedusha goes off if it was done unwittingly, but it doesn't go off if it was done b'mezid. The Tanan, we learned shilech biyad pikeach. if you send money in the hand of an in the hand of an intelligent person. Let's pick an intelligent person. Shimon Klein. So Shilach Biyad Pikeach. If let's say I have money of Hektish and I give it to Shimon to buy me a sandwich. I didn't know, I forgot it was Mammon. And I told Shimon, buy me a corned beef sandwich. V'nizker actually higia etzel chenveni. And I remember, it's Hektish. So once I remember, I can't be Moyel anymore. Because since I remember, b'mezid, I can't be Moyel. Now, the Gemara fills in that Shimon also realized it was Hektish before he gave the money to the storekeeper. Then, the poor storekeeper, that's Marshall, the poor storekeeper is Moyel when he uses that money to buy his wife flowers. So here we see that B'shageg, there's Mila, because Marshall didn't know it was Hektish, so Marshall is Moyel, but B'mezid, it's not. And that's why, since I remembered, and Shimon remembered, we're not Moyel. Says the Gemara, but wait a second. U'kurab Yehuda b'maiser milay tanan. Don't we also learn that maiser is not Mammon Gevaya? Don't we have a Mishnah that maiser is not Mammon Gevaya? But tanan, hapoida maiser sheni shalai. When you redeem your own maiser sheni, moisef alav chamishisai. Bein mishalai, whether it's yours, bein shenitin loy b'matana, or whether it was given to you as a gift. Now, wait a second. If it's Mammon Gevaya, you can't give it as a gift. It's your portion, you can't give it away. How can you give it away? It was given to you by Hashem. He didn't give it to you to give it away. He gave it to you to take it to Yerushalayim and eat it. Says Nima, no. It's going according to Rameir. But when could you give Ma'aser Sheni as a gift? You gave it before the Ma'aser was removed. In other words, I gave it to Yisrael before it was removed. So then I could do that because it didn't have a Shem Ma'aser yet. Yisrael got it, however, as a gift. It was given to him before the Ma'aser was removed. Now, if you hold that gifts that weren't removed since they're ready to remove is already considered Ma'aser, then that wouldn't be an answer. But the Kesavar Matana Shaloi Hormu, that if it wasn't removed yet, it doesn't yet have a din of Ma'aser. So then it could be given to Yisrael as a gift. Tajma, tries again. If you redeem your fourth year fruit, which we said has a din like Ma'aser, so you have to, when you redeem it like Beis Hillel, you have to have a fifth, bein mishaloi, bein shenita loy b'matana. But wait a second. Again, if it's going according to Rameir, if it has a din of Ma'aser, how can you give it b'matana? Mani ilay Rameir mi matzi yavlei v'gamrei kodesh m'Ma'aser, that has a din like Ma'aser. It would be Mammon Gevaya. You wouldn't be able to give it as a gift. Elalav Rabbi Yehuda, so it's a stop mission like Rabbi Yehuda. Says Mar'laylam Rameir. And again, when was it given to Yisrael? When it was in a bud. So it didn't have a shame of Neteravah yet. He gave it when it was too small to be considered like a fruit. Not like Rabbi Yosi, Damas Smother Aser, that when it's a bud, it's already awesome. Adrabah. We hold that while it's a bud, it's not a peri yet, so it doesn't have a din yet of Neteravah, and that's when it was given as a gift. Tajma, Moshach Himenu Meiser B'Sela. Let's say Menachem has Meiser, and I want to redeem his Meiser a seller's worth. So I make up with him, I'm going to buy a seller of the Meiser, and I do Mashicha. But I didn't get a chance to give him the coin until its value goes up to 2 sellers. So Menachem wants now 2 slot. But I tell him, too bad, I was already coining it with Mashicha. A Shlifei Mitzeh, a moderate bundle, is acquired with Mashicha. So I locked in the price. Nice and seller, I get it for a seller, mistaka a seller, and I profit a seller. But wait, says the Gemara, if Meiser is Mum and Gevaya, well, if it has a din of Mum and Gevaya, it has a din of Hektish, Hektish is acquired with money. Because it says, Menasa Nakesef a Kamlai. The din is, I profit, Meiser Sheni Shalai, I keep the Meiser Sheni. Money, who's this going like? Elaim or Rameir. If it's going like Rameir, then it has a din of Mum and Gevaya. It has a din of Hektish, then it shouldn't become mine until I give the money. Amai mistaka b'seller, why did I profit the extra seller? V'nosan as a kesef v'kam lo yamar Rachmana. By Hektish, it's acquired only with money. So until I give him the money, he should be able to back out. Elalav Rabbi Yehuda. This is gone like Rabbi Yehuda. So you have a Stam Mishnah like Rabbi Yehuda. Says, well, you're right. This is a Stam Mishnah like Rabbi Yehuda. Loilam Rabbi Yehuda. But the Hocha Chad Stama, like Rabbi Yehuda, it is 1 Stam Mishnah. The Hocha Trei Stama. But like Rameir, there's 2 Stam Mishnahs. Says the Gemara, well, it's not a scorecard. Stam Mishnah means that Rebbe holds like it. So if there's 1 and 2, what's the difference? So you have a contradiction what Rebbe holds like. The East Stama Dafka, if it's you want to decide it by a stam, Mali Chod Stama, Mali Trei Stama. We have 1 place that Rebbe holds this way, 2 places that Rebbe holds that way, but it's no proof because you see that Rebbe is Mesupik himself. Says the Gemara, no, but it says like Rameir in Idias. Now Idias is the testimony of the greatest tzaddikim, and that's why Idias is known as the Bechirusa, the choicest Masechta. And therefore, since it says in Idias like Rameir, that's why we hold like Rameir. Amrav Nachman Yitzchak Halachik Rameir Hoyel V'Tnan B'Bechirusa Kavase. The choicest Masechta Idias. There's a shiloh whether it's Idias or Adios. Either way, either it's the greatest Gedolim testifying that that's the halacha, or Idias is like Ziburis, Painis, and Idias. It's the best. Since it says in the best of the teachings, like Rameir, that's why we pass like Rameir, that Meiser Sheni is Mum and Gevaya, and you can't be Mekadosh and Isha. If you remember, I had started a crusade that the Daf Yomi should include Idias. I had Shmuel David Friedman go to Reb Chaim for me. Reb Chaim said I should get the signature of 100 Rabbanim, and then he'll sign it. Then my first Rebbetzin got ill. I couldn't carry it through. And then recently, right before Reb Chaim passed away, I went in and I asked him myself, and he said to me, because Idias is not in the Daf Yomi cycle. Kingdom is also Mishnayos, it is. So I asked that we should add to the Daf Yomi cycle Idias and Pirkei Avos. And Reb Chaim said to me, what about Yerushalmi? And you're worried about Idias and Pirkei Avos, you should worry about the whole Yerushalmi. So I had Yerusha covered, and I couldn't answer him. If I didn't have Yerusha covered, I would have told him to fast the Meruba late to fast the Mu'ah to fast. At least let's get Idias and Pirkei Avos. Maybe one day I'll still be able to carry it out because I think it's an excellent idea. Rabbi say, Motzi Yom Tov. Okay, let's see what time Motzi Yom Tov is. Motzi Yom Tov Daf Yomi is 9 o'clock. Motzi Yom Tov Daf Yomi 9 o'clock when everybody is going to be good and rested from Simchas Torah. Now, Rabbi say, the evening is not over. We did do the Mishnah Yomis already, and it's already on Torah anytime. Also, by the way, if you listen to the Mishnah Yomis on YouTube, on Torah Anytime, on Kol Lashon, there's also an interesting discussion of the Ushpizin of Yosef, so look forward to that. Now we're going to have the Shir for the Shabbos Hoshana Rabbah table and for the Shabbos Simchas Torah table. That's all one Shir.